Welcome to Bad Born Angels Blue Monday edition. I haven't pulled any cards to write poetry for a couple of days with very good reason. I had some other tasks to fulfill, and my vibration, my vibe, my frequency has been on such a low level. I literally had no energy available left to give. I myself have just started on this new journey or reinvented journey or reinstated journey of spirituality, and lots of things have changed in my life. Unfortunately, not the lack of disappointment. There is plenty of disappointment to go around. And I was just thinking these days and feeling kind of off about everything, and I'm tired of it, of sneaky people, lying men, cheating men who are trying to cheat on their wives, men who pretend that they want to date you but then don't. Keep your phone occupied 24/7. So there's literally nothing else you can think about but that conversation. But then there's no offer. There's no, let's go on a date, let's go out, let me buy you some flowers, let's go for a walk. And the few men that do ask me out, where this expectancy comes from, I do not know. Maybe I haven't been in the dating game for such a long time that I'm so old school. It's nearly like something that doesn't even happen anymore. How do men, full grown ass men, expect women to sleep over on the first night? Interesting. And not only that, after telling them I'll come over to your house for drinks because there's fuck else anything else you can do thanks to Corona, bitch. So it's either or my place or their place, and my place isn't it. So then I said yes to the date, and you can pick me up and you can take me back home when we're done. So the first night we're there having fun. He's got bottles of wine. I don't even drink that much. Chips, olives, assorted cheeses. He was on game, really. And everything was fine until he started like talking about, well, it's getting late and I had a couple of drinks, and I looked at him like, you knew you were going to have to take my ass back home, so why did you drink so much? And I let him sit it out for about an hour, and he surely did take me back home. So that was nice. So then again, the next day he asked me again to hook up with him, to meet up, not hook up. I understood it as meet up with him. So I met up with him again. So he picked me up again on time. And so this was like the first time I we kissed, and I must say, I didn't feel anything, but maybe I'm trying so hard not to love that I'm just pushing people away, or that it just, or maybe I'm still in love with somebody else and I'm not accepting that, and I don't want to be in love with the other person. But that's a story for another time. So anyhow, and it got a little too cozy, and I literally had to like time out, and told him like, we're not gonna do that, because if you start kissing and being all touchy-feely, there's not much else that could happen after that, and I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go to your house and not be ready, not feel ready, not having that feeling towards you. I don't even show him that I'm that into him, so I don't know where it comes from. But I don't understand why men, if I was I don't know, if I was a man, and I wish I was, wouldn't have to deal with my periods every month. If I was a man, I'd make sure that girl was okay, that she good, I would ask her, would you mind if I kissed you? Or would you mind if I come close? Or at least tell her, like, I've got these feelings of lust in my body and it needs to be expressed. I would say that. But they talk that way and act that way. And do I look stupid? Do I look like I can't understand simple conversation? If I ask you a direct question, if I tell you something in a direct fashion, like, look, I'm not ready for all of this. We're not gonna have sex for a while because I'm trying to get to know you. See, I'm a Cancer and an Aries and a Capricorn and a Libra North Node. But so I'm quite fixed in my signs. Those are all cardinal signs. So I am air and water and earth and fire and ether, and I go in the lead with all the 4 cardinals. So there are certain aspects of me I cannot, and they will not change. My knack for justice, honesty, loyalty, for real care or love, for making a decision and stick to it, making promises and sticking to them, being passionate about the things I do and not lie about those things. But it seems so, it's like, to me, as a writer, as a poet, it's so easy to express my feelings, my emotions. And maybe it's me, but even if you're not, how come people can't just say what they mean or mean what they say? If I tell you I'm gonna call you right back, I'm gonna call you right back. It's not gonna take 3 days. See what I mean? It's not gonna take 3 days for me to call you right back. And if I say that I am not ready to have sex with you after a day and a half, that's what I mean. It's not gonna change after 12 hours. And I don't like the push and pull. I don't like that game. Like, but I'm not about that. I don't think like that. You do, because that's the only question I've ever heard you ask. You never asked me if I need anything, if I'm fine, or anything else. You don't ask me about my favorite colors, what songs I like best. But you can't ask me twice if I want to still sleep over. No. But here's the whole point. This is just like the introduction to the story behind it. I'm tired of us black women living in those taboos, of women in general, unwed, never married, childless women, nice looking women, I might add, because I'm 42, but I still like the show. Having to deal with all of that bullshit. I didn't keep myself in this for nothing. I did not I could have had like 5 baby daddies by now. If I would have disrespected my body that much, if I wouldn't have cared about what kind of man I was attracting into my life that could possibly be one of my children's father. That in all of the time that I've been in life, there has only been one guy, and he wasn't. I love him. That's different, and he's like not for me, but he's still mine. He'll always be mine. He knows it. He just doesn't want to accept it, but we'll never be together. I know this. I still love him. Don't tell him I told you this. Anywho, I'm tired of men, married men, who meet me in passing or in a store, befriend me, and it's all friendly like. Then after a couple of weeks, you start talking about how in your culture it's okay. Not even after a couple of weeks, because that conversation went real fast. How in your culture it's normal for a man to have 2 or more wives. And then he just kept bringing that up over the course of the couple of weeks. And then there was one day that I actually confronted him. I'm like, why are you always talking about that to me? What's that got to do with me? You and your culture and having the ability to have 2 or more wives. And I know his wife in real life. I even know her name. I've seen their children. I know their children's names. So it's not like this is a guy who, like, the only person I hadn't met in that family was him. And then when I fit the pieces together in the puzzle, then I'm like, oh, that's that girl's husband. So I always kept my nice distance from him, befriended him as a friend. We talked about his business, talked about my business ideas. And then one day, and this is where I get pissed off, really, really pissed off. One day he's sitting in my house, across from me at the dinner table. We're having coffee, smoking some weed, and he was on his way to the gym, something. His wife calls. Normal. So I hear her asking him across from the table. I've been in a call center since '98, so my listening skills are like on point. I hear everything. I hear his wife asking him, where are you? And I see him like stuttering, like, yeah, I'm home. I'm like looking at him like, bitch, you're not home. This is my house. It's my house. So I got like really, really interested. Like, what's this conversation about? Where is this going? So finally, she puts him on blast and says, okay, that's cool. You say you're at home. I'm at home and you're not here. So where are you? So then he starts stuttering more and more and more. And then finally he said, I'm drinking coffee over at Nils's place. And she was like, yeah, so why couldn't you just say that? And she felt awkward. I felt awkward because I'm like, I didn't ask for your man to sit across from my table and lie to you on the phone while he's in my house. Because he's lying to me too at that moment, because you're supposed to be my friend. Now you're putting me in a peculiar situation um, that ended up in this weird ass conversation, and I didn't understand what was going on. So before I knew, he left, and of course, his wife has my phone number, so she texts me like, "Yo, what's up?" And that was weird, and now it's like I'm coming off as this jealous bitch of a wife. I'm like, "Oh no, that not no, don't bring that shit on me." Like nothing was. I was just as surprised to look at your husband sitting across from me at my dinner table, lying to you over the phone while he's in my house, lying about his whereabouts, making me, if I wanted to lie for him, a complicit, right? Okay, I don't want to be a complicit. So that really didn't sit well with me, and I'm like, now you're making me look, because you're happily married. At least you can fake being happily married. So he can run off home and say to his wife whatever excuse he wants to say, but I'm the one, the outsider, who gets all the odd looks, who gets all the uh, dirty faces. And till one point, I was like, you know what? It's best if we just don't um, stop being friends, because when you start fucking with my integrity, that I have to defend myself in situations that I didn't cause. I didn't invite him over. He just walks by my house and rings the doorbell. Hey, let's have some coffee, let's smoke some weed together. It's never on invitation on my part. I just live here. So, situations like that, why would you do this? Why would you? So, till this day, I just stopped speaking to him. I lost a friend over it, yeah. But I've got my integrity. I know what I did and what I didn't do. But people really need to be in check about their own whereabouts and what they say in front of who. If I was any other, I could have. But I'm not. I'm one of the good girls, but people don't. So fuck you. Fuck you and your husband. And probably you haven't been fucking him for months from what I heard. Anyway, so stories like that. And then you have stories of people who have been married and have been in a divorce or are divorced and carry that stamp everywhere they go. Divorced. Poof. Look at me, I'm divorced. But then they try and go and step into the dating game. Ask somebody out. Drive by, bring me chocolates and stuff. Because I was longing for chocolates. So that was kind of, and he was cute though. Cute, oh, cute. I really liked him. So the day comes that, like the day before or on the day that we were supposed to have dinner, he cancels, says he had gotten ill or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, it just happens. Get well soon. I wish I could, if I was in the position of doing anything for you right now, I would. I had no penny to my name. And he was going to cook for me, so I didn't. And all I had to bring along was my mouth, he said. So I wasn't worried about that. But then, okay, so he gets sick. And I'm looking at my house. I don't have anything to even make you some chicken broth to make you feel better. And then the communication started to bleed out there. I would text him like, hey, how you doing? And no response, but he'll be online wee hours of the night talking to somebody, but not me. Just cancel. Just say, yo, you know what? On the second hand, I've been thinking about it, and I think we should cancel. I don't think I'm ready for dating yet, or I don't like you as much as I thought I would, or something, and just nothing happens. It's tiring. And I really like this guy. I was. It takes time, before I find somebody I like. Damn, hell can freeze over. Hell can freeze over. So I was actually kind of happy because he was, yeah. I'm like, you're just right. And then they have this complex and make things complex for no reason. And then you have the celebrity types. You have those too. Oh man. Yeah, I just broke up with this light-skinned girl 3 months ago. Ready to date, back in the scene. Just moved to Amsterdam. Yada yada. So then he became my workshop master. So I was like, let's keep you on your side. I'll be on my side because I don't want people to think that you're gonna grant me extra privileges because you're into me. So we had a little break time, and by the time we were, that it was acceptable for me and him to date without people looking at us weird, on the same day, instead of us having the talk, yeah, let's start dating now we can do and be whatever, he comes back and tells me that this ex that he supposedly had broken up with and 6 months ago was 3 months pregnant. I'm like, but when you met me, it was already over between the two of you. So how did she get pregnant in the past? The calculations were, oh, I should have turned the screen on sooner. I like sitting in the dark. So the calculations were like off the charts, like something's not adding up, and it were his lies was what wasn't adding up. But then on the same day, he asked me, would you still be willing to date me even if? So after you tell me that you actually did still fuck her whilst you were trying to date and see me and tell me you love me, on the same day you tell me that we finally get to be together, you tell me that she's pregnant, and then within 5 minutes ask me if I'm okay with all of that and I would still want to date you. I tried for a while. Oh, he tried. He sure tried. Can you believe it? So then what happened? I'm going to just keep a very long story very, very short. Next thing I know, I'm looking at the video of him at a performance I was supposed to go to. But I didn't go it eventually. I didn't go, but I got to see the taping of the show. His ass on stage asking her to marry him. Bullshit, men like that. Lying men like that. And then there's the men who have a baby mama somewhere, try to turn a hoe into a housewife because he literally picked her from the streets, wasting and spending all of his money not paying the rent, and she was actually 3 weeks nearing her due date when he found out that she hadn't paid the rent for her house for like the past 6 months. She was being evicted. So you take all of that crap, and then when you finally get released of that person and you're free, you find somebody else. You're gonna blame the new person for all the shit your ex put you through. There comes a time in the life of a woman where the only thing she actually wants to do is go and meet your mamas and slap them bitches in the face for raising such pussy, weak ass men who pretend on the street that they are all that and then some, but are nothing and have literally nothing to offer, and then still pretend like they're God's gift to womankind. Driving around in your Benz, you can't even pay your phone bill, asking me for money in the first week. This is a guy who makes like 6 times the amount of money I do in 1 month. But you're asking me for money. Y'all tired ass niggas. Moroccans. Suriname, Dutch motherfuckers, all of you. I don't know what to do with you. But for now, I think it's best I take a break from all of you. and just be nosy for a while. Because I've got too much love. I've got too much respect for my body and myself to be dealing with you guys, really. So that's the reason I've been a little offline. Just trying not to deal with them. And every time you think, finally, one of them niggas, they leave me be. They call you right back. Give it 2 seconds. Call you right back. For nothing. Just to see what you're doing, who you're dating, and if you're still thinking about them. And then you won't see him again for... I think I'm gonna... Yeah. I think I'm gonna adopt a puppy. Because I sure know how to handle dogs.